Yay! Oh, hooray!
Oh my god, are we actually live? I don't know.
The internet says we are. I don't know if that means anything.
When has the internet ever lied to us? The internet doesn't lie.
Constantly!
Oh no! My whole life is a lie now.
No! Oh my goodness. All right. In this live 200th episode, 200 episodes. Oh my God. In this live 200th episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about the short story Promise by Jackson Ford. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss Promise by Jackson Ford.
Standard disclaimer, if you haven't read this short story, you honestly probably have time to read it before we even get down to the summary. Please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read and don't want to be spoiled, too bad, because we're alive. Deal with it. You know what? If you don't care about spoilers, or if you just love us so much that you don't care about anything that's happening right now, listen up.
Oh,
Yay.
dear me. Oh, dear me. I feel like we're already derailed.
We are. But you know what? We've been doing this for 200 episodes.
Wow.
That's a lot of episodes.
Does that not make you feel like really old?
I don't even know what it makes me feel like. I can't comprehend that I've been doing this every week for 200 weeks.
This is Fictional Hangover / Amanda's 200th episode.
That's right. It's not your 200th episode. It's your 149th episode.
Something like that. So do you have to do this again in 49 episodes? Plus, if you take into consideration the bonus episodes.
Right. With the bonus episodes, you've been here for 200 at least.
Oh, God, yes.
There's so many bonus episodes. It's wonderful.
There's loads. And every single bonus episode is a guest. It is an author or an audiobook producer or an audiobook narrator or somebody within the book industry. And they are delightful. They really are. One of them. But what I do quite enjoy is that we do have a little bit of competition with a couple of our guests on trying to get the most appearances on the podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of, one of those is probably going to crash our live in a few minutes, so...
Perfect. Exactly
so that makes him the new winner.
Is a moral victory a real victory?
You take the victories that you can get. It doesn't matter.
You do.
A victory is a victory.
Well, in our being victorious, shall we actually crack on with the summary?
We probably should, but I just want to tell you the background info that I have for this one.
Okay.
I found this beauty of a story in Jackson Ford's newsletter, which is fucking fantastic. If you haven't signed up for his newsletter, you definitely should, and you can do that by visiting his website, jacksonfordauthor.com. You have to sign up. And I'm not just saying that because Fictional Hangover is mentioned at least once a month in his newsletter.
If we're not, I feel like there's something wrong. What have we not done? Why haven't we done something? Quickly post a picture.
Yeah, we're there. So you should get his newsletter. It's really fantastic. He shares stories sometimes. He also just, writes random shit, which I know is shocking to everyone.
I really
on account of his book
titles. His Kindle one. The Kindle discussion about how his 10-year-old Kindle is just the best piece of technology ever. I really enjoy that one.
Yes,
it's like some weird thought train.
It's wonderful. Did you read the one this past week about AI authors?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Strong thoughts and feelings. Can't help but agree.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Fun fact,
So-
I'm actually subscribed twice.
Me too. Somehow. Actually, I think maybe 3 times. I'm pretty sure that Fictional Hangover is subscribed. Myself, Ridiculous Amanda, is subscribed. And I think one of my other random Gmail accounts also. I get emails from Jackson Ford constantly. And I'm okay with it.
Hey, if he's going to do the competitions where you've got to subscribe to the newsletter, I will subscribe multiple times to get those points.
That's true. That's
One
true.
day,
We're
one
not
of us will
cheating at
win.
all.
One day. It's not cheating. It's subscription numbers.
It's
We
helpful.
need the scribble in book. I need the lime green one.
Day.
You need the blue one.
Yeah. We need to see what's going to happen with these next covers for sure. I wonder who's going to be the winner.
Competition. Check out our last bonus episode with Jackson Ford, by the way, to find out why we're talking about colours.
Yes. But now I feel like we should go ahead and get started with our very, very brief summary. People who normally listen to this episode are going to be like, oh yeah, you know, if you just want to skip over the summary, go in about an hour into the episode. No, not this time. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss the whole episode if you go into an hour. All right. So we have an interview. It's an interview session at Federal Logistics Facility, Waco, Texas. 16th October 2014. Interviewer, Dr. Alana Kelso. Subject, Emily Jameson. Dr. Kelso begins an interview with 16-year-old Emily Jameson, who we have come to know and love as Tegan Frost. Emily has been held at the Waco facility for some time and has attempted to escape on multiple occasions. While we know Tegan in her 20s with semi-amazing control of her abilities, teenage Emily isn't quite there yet. She already has some qualities of the Tegan we know, though, and that's how we begin this interview. Dr. Kelso introduces herself to Emily, and Emily's response, "Your burgers suck."
I mean, they do. Dr. Kelso, in typical medical facility interview fashion, asks how this makes Emily feel. Well, that's not really what we're concerned about, is it? We're more concerned with Emily's powers, or, as she corrects Dr. Kelso, her abilities. Since she's had her psychokinesis since she was born, she considers it an innate ability. But Kelso mentions that according to the notes found after the fire, Emily's telekinesis was acquired at an unknown time. Emily corrects Dr. Kelso again. It's psychokinesis, not telekinesis, and mentions that it's her power, so she can call it whatever she wants. I imagine she put that in. When Kelso comes back with the fact that Emily calls it an ability, not a power, she gets a well-deserved wall-mounted security camera to the face.
And there's our Tegan. There she is. There she is.
Criticizing food and throwing shit everywhere.
After Emily is threatened with electric shock, the only thing that seems to be able to control her, electric shock, Dr. Kelso continues the interview and asks about Emily's family. Well, they're all dead. Next. That's obviously not an adequate response, but Emily's good at changing the subject when things get uncomfortable. So she asks Kelso where her accent is from. Unswayed, Dr. Kelso asks when Emily's parents began their testing on her, even though she literally has that information like right in front of her already. We can see why Emily is frustrated.
Emily tells Dr. Kelso that the testing began when she was just 4 or 5 years old, and is then asked if there are any incidents that may have occurred when she was little. Maybe? But it's not like she was able to do much with her abilities then. She was just a kid. Then Kelso asks about Emily's brother and sister and their abilities, which again, she already knows about because she's got their parents' notes. But since Kelso apparently wants to hear everything in Emily's own words, she tells the doctor that Chloe could see on the infrared spectrum and Adam never needed to sleep.
Sheesh.
Scary. We know it is.
We know it is.
It's really scary.
Emily stops talking when she mentions her brother's ability, and when pressed, won't continue. Dr. Kelso tries to change topics to see if Emily had a normal childhood, which, no, she did not. Emily was homeschooled, so there were never other children around, except for Adam and Chloe, of course. Kelso doesn't seem to believe this, but Emily insists and says there was always stuff for them to do, property to explore, books to read, so they didn't need anyone else. Dr. Kelso then asks about the man who owned a nearby general store.
Ooh. Emily is excited about Mr. Eibenheimer, but quickly shuts down when she realizes that Kelso, after offering to see how the old man is doing, is probably going to use that information against her, or might even hurt him, which is what happens when you're in prison. She threatens Kelso, who says they will, of course, not harm Mr. Eibenheimer, but whatever. But they will need to question him. Emily asks about the accent again, and also Kelso dodges again. And Emily says you shouldn't think of it as a facility, as a prison. It's not. It's nice. But it is a prison, isn't it? I mean, it's not like she can just walk out.
Dr. Kelso says even if Emily can't leave, because yeah, she definitely can't, it's only because they don't know anything about her or her abilities, and it's just not safe. Insert eye roll here.
Liar, pants on fire.
But if Emily can prove she's a good guy, then they'll let her go? No, definitely not. When Emily asks to speak to someone who will let her prove that she's not a bad guy, Kelso tells her that her accent is from Texas, and that's where they are right now. Subject change?
The subject change continues when they start talking about Texas-style barbecue. Once again, Jackson Ford making me hungry. But Emily's not going to be fooled by offers of brisket. I think I may be just throwing that out there. Fooled by offers of brisket.
How long did we detour on that one episode when we were talking about barbecue? It was like
at least 10, 15 minutes.
10 or 15 minutes for sure.
Longer if you leave in the edits. Anywho, Dr. Kelso levels with Emily then. She's not getting out. She tried to escape 13 times and has been cattle prodded each time. Jeez. She's never going to leave. She's never going to have a normal life. She should stop trying to escape and work with them instead of against them. But how is that okay? How do you just tell a 16-year-old to deal with being locked away?
No, that's not good.
Nope.
Kelso says she doesn't expect Emily to deal with it. Her life sucks. Her family is dead. But just because everything is terrible right now doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. They'll keep working together, maybe enjoy some barbecue, and things won't be so bad. The interview wraps up with Emily saying if Kelso tells her that positivity is her actual power, she's going to hit her with the security camera again. Unfortunately, after the session ends, Dr. Kelso isn't allowed to see Emily again, which means there's no barbecue.
Motherfucker.
Damn it!
Oh!
Why? Barbecue!
What's worse, being locked up or the false promise of barbecue?
False promise of barbecue is pretty rough. But I don't know.
I need to try proper Texas brisket as well.
You really do.
We're harkening back to this conversation we've had many a time. Anywho.
One day, Claire, one day you will get to have proper barbecue.
Not the stuff I make on the coals out my back garden.
I mean, that counts kind of, but it's not real. Oh my god. Oh, Claire, do you see what just happened? Do you see what has just happened here?
I'm going to
Someone
say
is
no
crashing our
because I'm
lives.
busy. I'm busy looking at the comments because Bookworm Baker 872 has just said Texas brisket is always worth it, and how dare they tease her with no brisket? How
I
dare
know. It's
they?
pretty
And I'm
bad.
going to assume Bookworm Baker is Constance. So hi Constance,
Yes.
and also hi Cindy, hi Annie, Richard, John, and Colin in the comments.
And what about Heidi Jackson Ford, who just dropped
What up,
into our
gangsters?
No, she's
stream?
orange.
What?
No, it should be lime green. We've discussed
I
this
didn't have a
already.
lime green t-shirt. And besides, I thought this one was okay.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
There you go.
Love it.
Fictional Hangover merch, folks.
Yes!
Available now. Happy 200th, guys. It's a fucking epic achievement. You should be
you.
proud of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Claire, I think you get a bonus like 51 episodes. You can just have them. We'll just bring you up to
Can
200.
I?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, phew.
We'll fake it.
Whew. I was worried I was going to have
Wow.
to do double episodes for a few.
Jesus, as if your episodes aren't long enough. You're going to have like 5 hours every single day to catch up.
That would just be me sitting by myself because I'm like, no, I'm
But I'd be
already
like, fuck no.
that.
Nope, I'm not editing that. You can just
I've read this
forget
book,
all
it's
about
really
that.
good.
Oh,
Well, thank
man.
you for having me on this. I feel very privileged to be on the 200th episode. That's quite something. Thank you.
It's really very special, and I think that makes you the winner of the competition
declared
that
you
we've
the
got
official
going so
winner.
far. Yeah.
The winner of what competition?
Being on so many episodes, you know, the
Fuck
last time you were
yes.
on, you were like,
Yeah.
I gotta beat Kendara Blake, but now
Eat it,
you're
Kendara
on
Blake.
live, so
Eat my dust.
so you're the winner.
We need to send her that clip. Let's stir things.
Oh shit. Beef.
We've literally just been talking
Oh.
about a beef brisket.
Yes, we have. Why do you think I said beef? Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Did we
Yeah.
ever ask you what is your favorite barbecue? Because we've had this many time of conversations, and depending on where you are in, continental United States, you get different answers. Because I mean, you know what UK barbecue is, but sausages on the charcoal. So that
what you do in the UK is shameful. I'm sorry. That's not a. There are two types of barbecue that I accept in this world. The one is braai, which is South African version, which is a cookout, and the other one is American low and slow pit barbecue, which is the kind of the ultimate of the form. And for me, brisket. I'm a brisket guy.
Okay. We're gonna have to come back to that because that is a would you rather question this week. But I feel like we have to talk about this story a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I really, really loved seeing tiny baby Tegan Frost. She's not even Tegan yet. She's still Emily. But we really literally start out the story with the Tegan that we know and love because she trashes someone's food and then hits them in the face with a camera. Like, there she is. There's our Tegan.
Yep, very on brand. Very on brand.
It was so good, but what happens with Dr. Kelso? Because she's taken out at the end, and they're like, "Nah, you can't come back. Sorry, you've done enough." Do we ever see Dr. Kelso again?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
I don't know. Maybe she'll pop up in a future book. I have no plans to do so at the moment. She was a one-off character I invented. I didn't know how the conversation was going to go when I started writing it. I didn't know very much about Dr. Kelso. But she strikes me as someone who is reasonably good at her job. But kind of goes very much against the grain of what the government wants from Tegan, and so that's why they pull her off.
See, I was worried that they I was worried that they, pulled her away and then
Oh, Jesus Christ! What? No!
You are
No!
Let there be
Lord.
How
murder.
did you get that?
She was taken off the assignment. She wasn't
Let there be
fucking
murder.
murdered.
Let there be
Jesus.
murder.
How did you get that?
Yeah, I'm
She
curious
signed
about
a
this as
million
well.
Say that- I mean,
non-disclosures.
Look,
She
that's
signed a
what
million
I
non-disclosures.
wanted
She
to
could go to
happen.
jail. I'll
You
grant
wanted
that,
her
but
to
you're
be
not gonna
murdered?
murder her.
Yeah. I need
Why?
people to be because I need people to be murdered in your books.
Oh
In the
my
Fictional
God,
Doing
Hangover.
no.
Would you rather right now? We
No.
do not need to establish you as a bad guy right now. Well, you certainly don't need to answer that question.
There are enough
Jeez.
assholes in my books. This is one of the good people. I'm not gonna murder her. Just damn
Why not?
cold.
Because there wasn't she wasn't murdered with a chandelier, so it doesn't
No,
count.
she wasn't murdered with anything. They're not like you offered the subject, the experimental subject, brisket. You must die. No, come on.
Do you know what probably happened? In about 6 months' time, she's at a Texas barbecue restaurant. She's eating the brisket. She suddenly remembers Emily and her promise to Emily, and she chokes on the brisket. So it's completely unrelated to the actual,
I can That's fine.
situation of working for the government. It's purely accidental, but she dies by brisket.
It's
How about
karmic
that?
barbecue murder.
Karmic barbecue. Yes.
My face should tell you what I think about that shit.
Well, it's happening. It's canon now. You're gonna have to deal with it.
Sorry.
Good God.
We're writing our own stories. Karmic barbecue murder.
No, she's NDA'd up the wazoo, as Claire says. Like, she's not saying shit. She's a government asset. They're not just going to be like, we're going to murder you. Like, you're one of our psychologists. We can use you. That's cold.
Murder. Just let me have murder. Just let me have it.
You can have murder, but hands off murder of characters. I decide who gets murdered in my books.
No, we decide.
No, if you decided,
who is
then Matthew from book 2 would have been thrown out of a helicopter, and we can't have that.
That would have been a fairly boring story, but to be fair.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, if he was murdered at the end, that would have been fine. It didn't have to happen immediately.
Nah, I'm keeping him under wraps. He's coming back.
Ugh. No.
Oh, imagine him as a teenager. Jeez. Having those hormones and the power to like literally cause earthquakes and volcanoes to explode.
That kid's not making it to a teenager. Someone's wringing his scrawny neck by the time he hits double digits.
He's
Someone
getting
is
thrown out of the
throwing him off the
helicopter by the time before he gets to be a teenager. Anywho,
Happy
Talking
12th
about different
birthday,
children.
Matthew.
let's talk about different children. Emily.
Yeah.
Emily. I love tiny baby Emily.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you.
It's nice to see the backstories a bit, isn't it? Just like those glimmers of insights and those teasers. It's nice. But it also causes problems because you introduce people like Dr. Kelso. We're like, we want more. And we're very demanding.
It's fun. They're fun to write. There's so much fun to write because like something like this probably wouldn't fit inside a Frost Files novel. It would be a nice little digression, but it would just fuck up the pace of the story. But at the same time, it's something like, you know, it's an idea that's knocking around my head. And I'm just like, well, why can't I just spend a couple hours just exploring this and just writing it out and seeing what happens? And I think this turned into quite a fun little story. And I like Dr. Kelso. I hope she comes back. I have no idea if or when she will. Like I said, I invented her as a one-off. I'd love to tell more stories of like Baby Tegan. That might be fun. It might be fun to like tell a story when she was like 9 or 10 years old and bouncing around the property in Wyoming. I don't know. I'll see if any ideas pop up.
Yeah,
That would be wonderful.
I'm just delighted you guys care this much about the character. That warms my little black shriveled heart. Thank you.
Oh, bless. I want to see her interacting with Chloe and Adam as Emily. Because we've seen her.
That would be awesome.
We've seen her in a shitload of Crazy Powers interact. Well, yeah, me and the Eye of the Shitstorm really interacting with her siblings. But it was violent and contentious, and I can imagine Chloe being a bit more of a caretaker of Emily when she was younger, especially when Adam starts to get scary. But then,
yeah, I mean that's her little sister. Like, yeah, she's looking after her.
And it's
but
also
that
a twin
kind of
brother.
Say again.
It's also a twin brother.
Yeah, there's probably a stronger relationship there, but at the same time, like, you know, Tegan is the baby of the family. She's going to be looked after. They're not going
Yeah.
to let her like go off on ATVs when she's 5 years old by herself. She's going to have a co-driver, you know? They look after.
I don't know. I've got this like image of Adam plonking baby Tegan onto an ATV and going, "Come on, let's go for a ride," and just having that little brother sister moment where he'll look after her, he will desperately look after her, but there's that element of danger of like, you've just plonked a small child onto an ATV. Don't do that. But it's a bonding moment for them. And it's like those little cute little moments are going to make it so much harder when they die in the books. Would die, air quotes, because we know they don't. And having those, Tegan versus her siblings all as an adult, remembering those moments.
Yeah, I love those moments, but there's only so much I can put in the actual books themselves. I mean, as I've kind of written more and more books over the years, my books have started to get longer and longer and longer. I recently wrote a 190,000 word fantasy novel, which I had to cut down dramatically because 190,000 words is just, you don't get away with that shit unless you're Brandon Sanderson, and I'm not Brandon Sanderson. So I have to kind of keep it to a respectable length. And that means that there are certain things that don't make it in. But like outside of that, I can write as many short stories as I want. I can write stuff in this world. This is, I'm as megalomaniacal as it sounds, I'm the owner of this world. I can do what the fuck I want. And it's fun to explore those things. I really enjoy it. So there's going to be more of this stuff. Believe me.
Good. We need it. And I need you to just murder random people in terrible ways.
You got it. Anytime, Amanda. Only for you.
Thanks. Really appreciate
Is there any sign of these short stories actually making it as bonus material for in the publications? Do you know?
How do you mean, like bonus material?
So
sometimes at the end they'll put
add in a little story to the end of a book.
Yeah, the deleted scene, or maybe they'll have
a compilation. Maybe get a nice collection of short stories
in a nice brightly colored.
I won't put them in a standalone collection. I've actually done that before. For my very first sci-fi trilogy, the Outer Earth trilogy, I released a compilation of like 4 stories, each of them featuring like a supporting character from the universe. And it didn't do well at all. I think that's a reflection on the fact that the series itself didn't do well, but it just wasn't a great experience. Not because of the publisher fucking up or anything, just because I looked at it and went, yeah, I should have, this wasn't the best avenue for these. As bonus material though, yeah, I don't see why not. It's something I'd have to talk to the publisher about. I don't know. I would do it if it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm very conscious of the experience I want the reader to have. And if I get to the end of the book and I want them to be experiencing a particular emotion, I may not always want them to go, oh, there's a little bit of bonus material. I may want them to close the book and put it down and go, holy shit. So,
yeah.
And there always is that extra little bit at the end with Tegan providing your author info.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always fun to read.
Yes, that's like your little palate cleanser. Like, okay, now that I've just torn your fucking heart out your chest, here's Tegan taking the piss out of me. Have fun, guys.
She's so complimentary.
She's the best. I love her.
Me too. I aspire to be her.
You are not allowed those abilities.
I am.
You are not allowed any psychokinetic powers. No.
That would not be a good idea.
You just straight up murder people.
I would. Straight up murder people, which, that kind of leads really, really perfectly into our Would You Rather. Because, excuse me, I'm trying to play Would You Rather sounds and nothing's coming out of my phone. There it is. It's perfect. It's a perfect segue into Would You Rather because, Claire, our first question.
Would you rather be a good guy or a bad guy? We asked on social media. Facebook, 67% said good. On Instagram, it was 55% good. On Twitter, 100% bad. No surprises there. And on TikTok, it was 59% bad. So, split across the social medias. And we do have comments from our fantastic listeners, which we will read now. Colin on Facebook said, I'd go for good guy. Reason being, if you're the bad guy, then people are out actively trying to foil your plans. Whereas if you're the good guy, the only thing foiling your plans is your own jackassery. I mean, being the bad guy has its advantages. Nice range of layers, better uniforms, minions, banana. But the sheer frustration of not being able to carry out your nefarious plans must be crippling. He's thought that one through.
He really has.
Yeah, that's a very, very in-depth analysis, actually. Yeah. I'm impressed.
Annie on Facebook says, good guy, because ultimately we're a positive person and we like to think that good triumphs evil. Oh, Annie.
Constance says, I'll be the bad guy with the redemption arc, get to do all the fun stuff and have more fun, but then I'll let my conscience get the better of me and help the goody-goodies. Sorry, Constance, I have to say, sometimes I just want a bad guy to be a bad guy and I don't want any redemption. I don't need their redemption. Yeah, that's you, Amanda.
It's true.
You cannot be redeemed. You
Nope.
just straight up murdering everything.
Straight
just
up murdering everyone. Doing it. Here I am. Coral on Facebook wants to be the bad guy because deep down, you know you want to be bad. She says, I feel like being bad, you can have a little more fun. Shit happens.
I agree with that. 100%.
Then Crystal replies to Coral and says, I agree. I think you have more fun that way. And then she asks about being chaotic evil, neutral evil, or lawful evil. Chaos all the way.
Totally chaos is a ladder, and I'm climbing that ladder.
Oh, yeah. So much chaos.
And Drew on Facebook said, I feel like you can do more stuff when you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a moral compass, or your moral compass is a bit...
I also shared this question at the library because we know how Jackson Ford feels about my library. He loves it. I may be putting words in his mouth, but that's fine.
Nope, not at all. That is 100% true.
And pretty much everybody at the library agrees. Bad guys have more fun. One asks, can I be good at being bad?
I do have a favorite one from those as well.
Yeah. Bad guys have better outfits and get to be left alone.
Oh, yeah. That's a damn good point.
Yep. And then bad guy, because a lot of them have good ideas, but poor execution, and they will be better. I feel like I have the best execution.
That's quite clear what every single bad guy says, though. Every single bad guy goes, oh, what they did before wasn't done right. What you need to do is follow what I'm telling you to do, or I'll straight up murder you.
Yeah, don't you think it's weird that, like, a bad guy executes his nefarious plan and fails and is foiled by the hero and is dragged off to prison? Don't you think it's weird that, like, none of his henchmen or no one else go, that was a pretty good plan, except for the bit that got him arrested? What if we do his plan without the bit that got him arrested? And
see, this is what you're just pitching an idea here. You're just pitching another series or an offshoot series where it's the minion who then takes over as the bad guy. You can call it the bad guy if you want something. Yeah, and becomes the actual bad guy and the dictator. But I feel like it needs to be a bit more comedic.
I'm going to do this plan, and I'm not going to kidnap the hero's husband. I'm not going to do that. Everything else we're going to do, we're just going to leave that bit out.
Let's be less obvious.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. But the current trend of bad guys at the moment is, I mean, if you think of the MCU, Thanos. I mean, he wasn't wrong. Same with Magneto and X-Men. They're not wrong in their thinking. You know, they want equality. They want to stop people from messing up the planets and destroying each other. And the ultimate goal of like having peace, quote unquote, or you know, trying to just get the status quo or just make people stop being assholes is sound. It's just their execution of it is very execution-y.
Yeah.
It is very execution-y, yes. But those
seems
are
to be the
interesting
current
bad
trend.
guys to me.
Yeah.
like Thanos is an interesting bad guy. I personally don't think his snap would have worked because people like to fuck and everybody would just repopulate in like 2 or 3 generations. So I don't really think he was thinking that through necessarily. But like you look at it and you go, well, you're an asshole and you're clearly a bit of a psychopath, but you're not wrong necessarily.
Well, we do
Thanos
have Colin
right.
in the comments. Yeah, saying hashtag Thanos is right.
Oh. So, should we move on to our next question? I feel like we're all bad guys, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty unanimous.
Yeah.
Okay. I got worried by your pause there, Claire. I thought you were going to say, no.
No, I was thinking about the
good guy.
fashion, if I'm honest.
Mm.
You've just got to be careful to keep away from certain, very heavy shoulder pads. Just keep away from like the Star Wars element of bad guys. You don't want, to go full Republic / Nazi.
No, you want to go full Banana Republic instead. Get a little bit of fashion.
Zing! Wave of villains wearing khakis. Sexy.
Banana
They're practical.
Republic uniforms.
Do they have good pockets?
Hey, if they've got pockets, I'm sold. I'm sold as long as they're pockets.
They have Banana Republic cargo pants. Still in a delightful shade of khaki. With a white button-down shirt.
Now there is a story. Oh, there's a story here. Well, I mean, Edna Mode in The Incredibles kind of hit that note already, but there's got to be somebody who does the fashion for bad guys, right? Somebody has to have designed Thanos's one-piece body armor pajama suit thing.
I mean, it's a little bit Incredibles, isn't it? With Edna Mode.
Yes.
She's the fashion designer for the good guys. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Who's the fashion designer for the bad guys?
Yeah. Someone designed Syndrome's costume.
And his
These
hair.
are all very bespoke as well, aren't they? They're very tailored. And you can't just get these off the rack and then go and get them,
No, you cannot buy spandex off the rack. Take it from someone who knows.
Really?
That has got a, if you do, it's probably got a real saggy crotch, and that's not a good look for anyone. It's got to be form-fitting in the crotchal region.
Yeah, saggy and spandex are 2 words that should never go together.
No, you got to have that fitted.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's tough work wearing spandex catsuits. And you got to have like the smoothing stuff on underneath. Nobody wants to see a lumpy catsuit.
Gentlemen, you need and all these letters as well. There's got to be if you're a bad guy, you've got to have a laundry room. These things need to be properly taken care of as well, because if they're not washed properly, you're losing all elasticity.
And on the plus side, I now have 2 brand new sexual safe words that I can use: saggy spandex and lumpy catsuit.
Yay!
Good. It's my gift to you for today.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh my God. Let's move on to the next question.
Yes, let's.
Let's see where we can take this one.
Okay, you know where I come down on this.
Obviously. Okay, you have an extra normal skill. Would you rather refer to it as a power or an ability?
Is it phenomenal and cosmic? Because if it's phenomenal and cosmic, it's a power. Phenomenal cosmic power.
Space. Yep.
Probably ability. If we're going to play the semantics game, because power is a bit. If you're a bad guy, I can imagine bad guys.
I was going to say that is my exact
answer.
That is my exact answer. If you're a bad guy, it's a power. You've got to force that onto other people. If it's an ability, you're sharing it. You're using it for good. But if it's a power, it's bad. Power.
I feel like the distinction I make is if it was something you were born with, if it's a talent, then you can refer to it as an ability. But if you acquire it, it's a power. But that's just my definition. I have no idea if that's like worth following or not. That's just how I look at it.
If you're
Well,
in the
I feel like-
comments as well, please and let us know. We have Constance says that she's going to call it ability. Colin wants us to fear his power. It's probably mighty and hairy, to be fair. Yeah. You see, the problem I'm debating now though, because I said I would be a bad guy, and now I'm seeing I've got an ability.
I know you're mixing things up here.
Well, I can. Lord and
That's
Master
true.
of all
You
has to do.
can.
You can call it a power. Presumably, it's a terrifying power that can murder lots of people. So you can call it whatever the hell you want.
That's what mine is for sure.
Amanda's the one who's always murdering people. I tend to go down the, the whole use the force kind of get everybody else to do the shit for us, so I can just sit back and read books and watch TV. Play Mario Kart.
Delegation. I like it.
Delegation.
No, I have
it's
trouble
an-
delegating.
Delegation
Murder everyone
is
all by
an ability in
myself.
itself. You like to get your hands dirty.
I do. Gory,
Okay.
covered
Yeah,
in
no.
viscera.
That's just
We
a
know.
cosplay.
Or is it?
Or is it? Good question. All right, what about our next
fantastic.
question?
Get back. She said evil power sounds good. I'm not sharing nothing.
Yeah,
She is a
That's
spiteful
right.
baker. She is a spiteful
she
baker.
is the spiteful baker. That is her power.
Oh, and
Uh-oh.
Annie's power! Vigilante!
Because she's vigilante.
Vigilante. I like it. That
Isn't
is that is an evil villain name.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh,
Love
I
it.
love it. All right. I'm
Next
really
question.
surprised about our next question because I'm pretty sure we haven't asked it yet in now like 4 full books with these
Yeah.
abilities being key to the plot. I'm really surprised we haven't asked them yet.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're doing it now.
I know.
It's a good one.
So, would you rather have psychokinesis, never need to sleep, or be able to see in the infrared?
PK, no doubt. So handy.
No, see, I'm going zigzag man.
You go in the full zigzag, man?
Full zigzag man.
You realize that
Ooh.
it turns you insane, right? Never needing to sleep, you will
Turns me
become
insane?
homicide.
It
Mind
turns
you,
me
you're a
insane.
homicidal maniac already, so go for it. Never need to sleep.
I'm already
Would you not
insane.
get bored though eventually? Like, I've had insomnia. It's boring.
Yeah, but if you never need to get back to sleep, you just binge Netflix all night, play video games.
Yeah, but I've done that, but there's only so much Netflix you can tolerate, and there's only so much you
Yeah.
can play video
But-
games before you just again get bored and need to move on to the next thing. And there's nobody
got-
around. I
I've
suppose you're
got
killing and
plenty of
terrorizing
things.
people.
I've got plenty of things that I need to do, plenty of things that I want to do right now that I don't have time for. So if I don't sleep, I've got time. Imagine
you
how many
realize-
audiobooks I could narrate all night long when there's no
Well, yeah.
sounds going on
There you
around
go.
me.
But how often have you said to me that you love a nap?
I do love a nap. I really, really do. But I don't know. If I get to be evil and also have time to do all the things that I want to do, doing it.
There's definite appeal to
Mm.
it, but I noticed that none of us have gone for C and infrared. I think we're all like, that's a practical power, but it's also not very much fun.
Well, I would want to I would want to go full predator. If I'm going to see in the infrared, I want to go full predator. I
If
want the
I'm- if-
mandibles. I want the dreads. I want the guns. I want the warfare.
You
I wanna
want
go
the
full
acid spit.
predator. Yes. I'm
Could
going to be
you-
hunting Arnold Schwarzenegger through the swamp, but I'm not going to get
Could
that.
you eventually make yourself invisible?
Probably me.
Because that's really key to the predator.
You couldn't with able to see in infrared because just because you can detect body heat doesn't mean that you can change the way photons interact with your atoms and make yourself invisible. That's
You
like
know-
a completely separate power.
If you didn't sleep at the same time, you could probably figure it out.
No. You don't get both. You can have one. You don't get to do both.
Fine, I'm
Lord
still
and master
sticking,
of all we survey. There is no
I'm still
option.
sticking with my zigzag powers.
I'm gonna go psychokinesis. Imagine the stuff you could do
Yes,
with that,
Claire.
especially if you didn't care if you got caught. I mean, whatever. Because at least then I can
Oh.
pretend to do my force powers and just walk around in the Jedi robes.
Yeah. And oh man, you know, Tegan does do some fantastic things with her psychokinesis. I mean, now by the end of book 4, she can fucking fly. So maybe I should
Chandelier
rethink this.
murder.
And she also kills people with chandeliers and helicopters.
Chandelier
Multi-talented.
murder.
Maybe I have to switch.
And we've
Maybe I do
already
have
had
to
the
do Tegan.
conversation about, psychokinesis and sex. They should have to go into the middle of like a field or somewhere where, imagine that.
And then you shout
Literally
for
blow
20
you away.
minutes. Hang on, it's coming.
Oh god, now you've said it, and that's every time for the rest of this episode.
Damn it.
I'm
Damn
not
it, Amanda.
sorry. I'm not sorry about it.
You never
I'm
are.
not sorry at all.
It's part of your bad guy and more unrepentant.
Yeah, it really is.
Bad
All
guys
right.
have better sex. I think that's an inarguable fact.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
It's certainly less vanilla. I'm gonna say. That's my 2 pence.
And
glad
you've got your spandex on and it fits. So that's a good look to go in with.
I'm glad everybody's come around to psychokinesis, though. Yes. Just down the right path.
Next question.
I was gonna say I'm moving on to the next question, but I'm just so surprised that we hadn't asked that one yet. It still blows me away that we haven't asked that question yet. But now we have, and so it's done. All right. Would you rather be cattle prodded or be beat up with a security camera? Look at your face.
I have a question about the cattle prod. If you're cattle prodded, would that cause your bowels to release?
Claire, I've never researched that.
Let's test it. Test it out.
Let's do some science.
Science. Would anybody in the chat like to volunteer? Oh boy.
Oh,
I feel like even if you did, that's a
he has volunteered.
someone in the chat's going cattle prod me, daddy. That's not quite the reaction I was looking for, but I love the enthusiasm. Damn, son.
We do not kink shame at Fictional Hangover.
We do not.
No.
We do
So
not.
it's
We're all
fine.
consenting
It's
adults.
all
We hope we're all
fine.
consenting adults here.
Right,
You
yes.
want to be cattle prodded? You do you, fam.
Are you wearing the sexy skin tight spandex at the same time,
you
though?
have to be perfect.
Yes, you have to.
Oh my god.
All right. So what's the answer?
I mean, I feel. I'm gonna go see the
aside. I'm probably
camera.
gonna
The
go
cattle
to-
prod just got a whole lot worse. I don't really want to fuck with any of that shit. Literally, I'll just stick with the security camera. Jesus. I never take it down these paths. It's always fucking you two. Always you two.
You write this.
You write it though. It's your
I have
fault.
never written someone shitting themselves after getting freaking cattle prodded. Ever.
There's still time.
Oh my god, Constance, how do you know that a cattle prod will not affect your bowels? How do you know?
Yes, I have questions.
Drew does want to know how big the camera is. I think it's regular security camera that's in the corner of the room. It's not overly huge.
It's not that big, like mirror dome
No.
where you can see everything, see all angles. That would be fun though. Not getting hit with it myself, but hitting someone with it.
So
I
slight
feel like
tangent.
this security camera
Oh, no.
would have less after. there could be it could give you a heart attack.
It could give you a
Probably
heart
doesn't like
attack.
cows. And
Constance
they're
Googled
designed
it.
for cows. Ah, thank you. You have a weird Constance. You're welcome.
So what?
To terrible repercussions.
I feel like the cattle prod would be less visible. You're gonna have bruises all over your face if you get hit in the face with a security camera. But if you're just cattle prodded one time, whether you shit yourself or not, that's a less
but if you've
visible
got bruises
wound.
to the face, you can make up the reason why you've got bruises to your face. I save children from example. Because you're not going to be able to tell them, oh, I got beat up by a 16-year-old with the government facility I work for. You've signed NDAs.
Yeah, you can't.
Otherwise,
you
you
can't tell
get
the real
murdered.
story. You may as well have a good one.
Exactly.
So you might as well be cattle prodded and shit yourself.
See, I recently read this book about the last Mad Max movie and how just it was a completely insane shoot and it was wild. And Tom Hardy who plays Mad Max, was talking about how he used to play a game with the stuntman called Not in the Face. What they would do is go out into the desert and they were allowed to throw things at each other. Anything goes as long as it's not the face. And I feel like if Tom Hardy plays it, you know, I like Tom Hardy, so I'm going to be beat up with a security camera. Go for it. Go for it.
Just not in the face.
You want to be
Just not in
beat
the
up by
face.
Tom Hardy and
whilst wearing the sexy skin tight spandex.
It's like a
You see,
fucking compass needle. It always comes back to the true north of sexy spandex.
you have the Tom Hardy element. Who's going to be able to resist the Tom Hardy element now for the security camera?
Also, tell me Tom Hardy wouldn't make a fantastic Adam.
That is
Oh,
literally what I
yeah.
was just thinking.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys are pulling for Jason Matsukas. He's definitely up there, but Tom Hardy would be my pick straight.
No, I've changed now. I need Florence
Yeah, I
Pugh
need
to
it
be
too.
Tegan, and I need Tom Hardy to be Adam.
I was thinking about your Florence Pugh suggestion. Like 4 or 5 years ago, yes, but ever since she's played Yelena Belova, who is just perfection and like
Yeah.
almost like the most Tegan-like character we have on TV, I'd feel like if she did Tegan, she'd just be doing her Yelena Belova.
I think so too, especially with her vest with all the pockets. You
Yes.
know Tegan would love a vest with all the pockets.
Tegan would
very
love a
handy,
vest
a
with
good
all the pockets,
pockets.
but she's not going to get a vest with all the pockets.
Because she's wearing
Because
sexy
she's
skin
still-
tight spandex.
It's because she stole it from Annie, and Annie takes it back.
Pretty much, yeah.
Annie's like, you're not. That's mine, bitch. Give it back.
Yeah, Annie's the practical one.
Annie would have the
Mhm.
vest with pockets. And
Yeah, I
like
mean-
there would be knives and you know, like there's a gun in this one over here.
It's one
She's
of the
got some
ones
good
where you go
stuff.
through the security and you've got to take all the weapons out, and you're there still 5 minutes
She's there
later.
for yeah,
Oh yeah,
20 minutes.
I got to
before
write
everything.
one of those scenes at some point. It's like I'm pretty sure I'm contractually obliged to. Like
Yeah,
what
you
would have
are.
in my contract. You must write a metal detector scene.
Yep.
This is a contract
happen.
right now. The world has seen. It's on the
Cool,
internet.
done.
It's forever
Consider it done.
Very good. Oh God. Okay. So last question might be the most important question of the day.
Now,
Would you
this
rather
is
have
a question
brisket,
you can
a
get your
burger,
teeth
or
into.
smoked chicken?
Lol.
Wait, hold on.
No, she's got sound effects.
I forget you got those. Yep. Womp, womp.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're not sorry. Don't lie.
I'm not.
Yeah,
at
you are
all.
never sorry.
Never. I'm never sorry.
You guys know where I come down on this. I mean, I love all of them, but I'm a brisket guy.
I had Nando's today, so I've had chicken. I do not need any more right now, so I'm going down the brisket.
You know, I think I'm gonna go burger.
It's a respectable choice. Very
Yeah.
respectable choice.
Deviant, but yeah, that tells us a lot about you.
Well, everyone knows that I'm not an enthusiastic carnivore. So I don't want to just gnaw on meat. So I mean, if it's a good brisket, you're not going to be gnawing on it, but still,
Exactly, yeah.
I think I'm going to go burger.
Blue cheese.
I need my veggies too, so I can put all my good toppings on. And as long as it's not a smash burger that tastes like sawdust.
Yeah, smash burgers are hard to cook. Jesus. They are my nemesis in the kitchen. I have tried so many times, and I cannot get the motherfuckers right. I just can't. I love burgers. I love burgers passionately, but I just hate cooking them.
It's really surprising that what you would say, you think a burger is quite a simple thing to cook.
No.
But yeah.
Cooking like a standard burger is fine. You can do that. But if you want it to be like halfway decent, there's a lot of shit you got to take into account.
Mm.
I hate it when people forget salt and pepper, the basic seasonings. Add in your paprika, your cumin, everything else, chili, whatever. But you need to have your salt and pepper and things. Don't forget your basics.
But only after the patty is formed. Like if you salt the patty and then form it, it's going to like turn into a sausage.
Yes. I was watching a cookery program and everything they did season it until like things had been browned off and everything. And it was like, yeah, that's when you add it in. Same with like making scrambled eggs. Do not add in the seasoning whilst you're scrambling. You add it in while it's cooking.
100%.
Annie,
hungry, but I'm really hungry now.
Annie's gonna have a veggie burger, by the way. Drew had brisket and a jacket potato today, which for the non-excessively British people, that is a baked potato.
Nom, 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 nom.
Constance has brisket, and she has it stuffed in a roll with sauce.
Ooh.
That's fine.
Man, now I'm hungry. But I do have a pretty badass lunch. Got leftovers from last night. I'm super proud of what I made last night. I made.
I need to ask what you're having for your tea. I always ask what you're having for your tea.
I made spatchcock chicken with caraway seeds and paprika rubbed on the skin.
Nice.
Over cabbage.
Oh, cabbage. Oh, I love cabbage.
It was like, I tend not to big up my own cooking that much. I'm bigging up this shit because it was next fucking level.
Oh, now I need to eat cabbage.
Beast.
Oh,
talk food to me.
Yeah, and we got leftovers, so that's what I'm smashing after this.
All
this talk of spandex has given me an appetite.
You're gonna fill up your spandex. You're not gonna have saggy spandex for sure. Oh my god. Okay, so Claire, is it time for our favorite final thought quotes?
It is. We don't have a sound effect for this one, do we?
No, it doesn't have a sound effect.
There you go.
There it is. From now on.
You're welcome.
That's just going to be sound bite. They're taking as a sound bite now.
Yeah, it is. I also saved on my desktop right now, and it will remain forever. I have a clip of you saying, "Nah, dog," and I just have it there. I just have it saved, and I'm just going to cherish it forever.
What circumstances do you play it in? Like when someone sends you a shitty email, like just click it, nah, dog.
Nah, dog. Well, I have it saved because in the clip that we made for our last episode where we were laughing at Claire for having her getting listeria from a couch or whatever was happening, and you were like, nah, dog, that's not how that happens. Everybody was talking over each other, so I had to pull your clip out separately, and now I just own it. And it's just there. Nah, dog.
You own the exclusive rights to me saying nah, dog. You can have it. Cool. Go for it.
Excellent. It's mine. It's mine forever. Nah, dog.
I'm gonna, but you know what I do now though? I flip it up and I get a new catchphrase. From now on, whenever I'm saying no to something, it's negative kitten.
Oh, that's fine.
There you go.
Gosh.
You have negative kitten. I'll keep the original nah, dog.
Cool.
Oh, I like that.
Then that's my favorite final thought quote from this episode.
What, nah, dog?
Nah, dog.
I'm waiting for it to actually make it into the books properly. Nah, dog.
Nah, dog.
I'm sure. Come on. I'm sure I must have written it there somewhere. There must be a nah, dog in one of them.
There's got to be. I'll do some
Somebody
research
do a
after.
Control F on the ebooks for ease.
Yeah, gonna have to do that.
Nah, dog.
Nah, dog.
I feel like that's something Annie would pull out.
Yep.
At some point.
Yep.
If it's not, it has to make it into the next one. You have to shoehorn it in there. Just find Annie saying no at one point. Just change it.
Uh-huh.
I'll have Africa
damned.
say it in a very strong Senegalese accent.
Yes.
Yes.
That is also good.
Yes. Perfection.
Africa can have it.
Speaking of quotes, 2 quotes from the book. Just because your life took a miserable turn, that doesn't mean your life has to be miserable.
It's meaningful.
You know what? I'm surprised that is a quote that people have fed back to me more than once, like in Instagram posts and stories, and people have tweeted to me. And I was a little surprised because yes, it's quite meaningful, but it's not a very complicated thought, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I hit something super profound and super like no one ever thought of this before, but it obviously struck a chord with people, which I find quite interesting.
You're good at doing
You
that.
don't want anything overly complicated. You don't have to sit and think about a quote and go, what? Oh, now I get it. Now I understand the meaning. You need it to be an instantaneous thing.
It obviously worked,
It
which
did.
is great. I'm glad you like that one.
Well done,
You got another one?
A+. You are extraordinary, Emily, and as a result, you will never have anything approaching a normal life. Damn it! Can you not be extraordinary and have the white picket fence or chef job?
No, because you're wearing too much spandex.
Damn spandex!
Yeah,
I'm
she
worried
wants-
the spandex
she wants
is
a
too
normal life,
form-fitting
though.
and results in camel toe.
Sorry, what was that about camel toe?
Nope. I was just thinking, she does want a normal life, and then I heard camel toe at the end of that thought.
I'm just worried that the spandex is too form-fitting and it's a bit too tight and it can result in camel toe.
That's why it needs to be fitted. That's why you can't just buy off the rack.
Can you get couture spandex? I'm sure you could. Seems like a Jean-Paul Gaultier thing, doesn't it?
It really
There must be, surely.
Or you just have to learn how to sew and modify your own that you buy for $10 from
Spandex
Amazon.
is such a horrible material to sew with, though.
It doesn't fray though when you cut it, so that's good.
Yeah.
Here's a question: Why do superheroes wear traditionally spandex over everything else? Is it just because of the form fittingness? Like I've never quite understood
flexibility.
Yeah, and it's so form fitting, like it's not going to get caught on anything. So you're not going to be walking down and like get your pocket stuck on a doorknob or something.
That's okay. Yeah, I could see how that would be important.
Yeah,
and it'd be useful in a fight because people can't like grab onto it too well.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's a good reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, if you're smooth underneath, it looks damn good. But you have to be. You can't have lumpy spandex.
I'm full of lumps and bumps. I can't get away with it. I won't be the spandex. I'll be the mysterious figure in black over here. Ooh.
I feel like after this live is over, I need to go and put on a spandex catsuit and just spend the rest of my time in one. I've got many to choose from.
We don't kink shame here. You do whatever you want. You are an adult with your own hopes and dreams, and if you want to wear spandex, I support you, Amanda.
Thank you for that. Oh my God. Okay, I need to share my quotes. Never say yes when someone gives you something for free. Because you're in prison. And they're going to use it against you. And if you tell me my real superpower is staying positive, I'm going to hit you with the camera again.
Yes. That needs to be a sampler.
Thing to say.
Yeah.
I hate it when people say shit like that. It's like, no.
Mm-mm.
No.
I'm with you. Be positive. Go fuck yourself.
I'm positive that I'm going to slap you.
Yes.
I'm positive it's going to hurt.
Yep.
It's like it's like when you're in a funk. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. You're just in a funk one day.
Yeah.
And somebody turns around and goes, oh, just cheer up. You're like, fuck off. Just fuck off.
Just fuck right on off with that.
Yeah.
Go back to bed and get out the right side. That
Ew,
might be a very
no.
British saying. I don't know, but yeah, go back to bed.
Wow,
quiet, get the
I've
right
never had
side.
anybody say that to me. I've never even heard that. But if someone
Nope.
said that to me on a bad day, then I really will need the advice on surviving in
Yeah.
prison.
I think
Push him
I
down the
screamed
stairs.
so loud that like I hurt my throat when that was said to me once because I was in
Someone
such
actually
a bad
said that
mood.
to you.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
I think it's a very British thing to say as well. Go and get outside the right side of bed. I'm like, don't say that.
Yeah, I don't
I would
like
cut a
that.
motherfucker. Jesus.
Yeah.
What a thing to say.
Push him down the stairs.
Yep. Throw him
Yeah.
out of helicopter.
Throw them out a
Yes.
helicopter, murder them with a chandelier.
Murder them with a chandelier, then throw them out of helicopter.
This is my bad guy origin story. I was in a funk one day. Somebody told me to get on the right side of bed.
And you just snapped.
I
You just
just
And
snapped.
everybody
snapped
would go, yes, that is a completely believable origin
Yep.
story. I'm here for this. Let's go.
Reasonable.
But
Yep.
what
Perfect.
happened is I actually turned into a hench person for a bad guy
Hench person.
to get some hench person to get some experience in the bad guy world. And then when he fucked up, I took over.
Yeah,
fine.
and
My
did it
origin
better.
story.
It's fine.
I did better.
It's fine.
Anywho.
Anywho, do we need to share our if you liked this, try this?
Yes.
Except for again, I'm having
you're
trouble making
cheating.
having trouble making my sounds play. There it is. Yeah, I am cheating because I'm just telling everyone to join Jackson Ford's newsletters so you can get his stuff and then you can go to his website and read his short stories. The other ones that I tried to convince Claire to do, and then we were like, nah, dog, we got to do Tegan. And I think everyone should read Dust and The Hitman and the Tea Lady. Those are other ones that you can find. They're so good.
Old school.
So good. But Dust takes place in a prison. There's bullying, powers, and murder. And The Hitman and the Tea Lady takes place on a train. There's an eyeball and murder. That's all you need to know. You need to go and read them.
The Hitman and the Tea Lady was my first ever published story.
So
Ever.
good. It was so good. There's an eyeball in a cup. It's so good.
I really like that one. I really like that. That story is very, very dear to me. Yes, go check it out. You will like it. It's a fucking laugh. It's a very English story.
God, especially the end of it, which I don't want to spoil, but the end was perfect.
Do not
Everyone
spoil
needs to
those
go and
ones. They have to have their own episodes. We'll just do an anthology episode one day.
We really should. Just keep
Oh my
having
God.
Jackson Ford on every episode.
Every single episode, just talk about my shit.
We are the official Jackson Ford Appreciation Society.
We will. We're just gonna move in and do like chapter by chapter discussions.
I'm down for it. Oh my God. How to lose the podcast audience in 3 episodes. Oh my
But that's
God.
our
I am not that
2023
interesting.
schedule all sorted. That makes our life easier.
Yes. So good.
If I ever get writer's block, you guys will be like, dude, come on, we got a fucking podcast to do. Get cracking.
Prod.
Cattle prod.
Yes.
And then you're just constantly shitting yourself over and over and over again.
Do you know what? Getting
God.
a wedgie at when you wear spandex, so that's happening as well. That you can't do that if you've got a wedgie.
You know,
when you're wearing spandex,
when you shit yourself, the wedgie just comes undone.
The directions, these conversations.
But no, you wait. You cattle prod, shit yourself, wedgie, make the entire situation 10 times worse.
It's like something out of The Boys. Jesus Christ.
Well, speaking of graphic novels with a graphic nature, my recommendation is Something is Killing the Children, Volume 4. Specifically Volume 4, because a tenuous link, #tenuous link, is a backstory of this little lady, Erica Slaughter. I don't know if you read this, Jackson, but you will fucking adore this series. It is absolutely amazing. I literally sat and read them all in in one setting. So shout out to Richard, who gave them as a gift to my husband, and then I saw them and just picked them up and started reading them. They are absolutely amazing. They are an adult read. It is a graphic novel. Eisner Award winner as well. So Erica Slaughter, this little lady who does grow up, went to hell and back in Archer's Peak, but that may not be nothing compared to the events she forged at the House of Slaughter, the North American headquarters of the Order of St. George, the secret organization dedicated to killing monsters that kill children. And this is Erica Slaughter's harrowing origins are finally revealed in this view. And damn, by the time you get to volume 4, you need Erica's origins. She's a badass bitch. And I recommended the House. There's Something Is Killing the Children when we did a shitload of Crazy Powers. So I'm specifically saying go to volume 4 if you want her backstory.
Yeah. I was thinking you've talked about this before on an episode I listened to. I couldn't remember if it was like a full breakdown or anything, but yeah, it was on the shitload of Crazy Powers one. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
It's honestly, I can't exalt its virtues enough. It's amazing.
That's wonderful. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our 200th episode of Fictional Hangover. Holy fucking shit.
Guys, again, just so many podcasts don't even make it to the 20th episode, let alone the 200th. And what you guys have built is something very, very special. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves. It's a fucking phenomenon. I love Fictional Hangover. I mean, I would, but even if you'd never featured any of my books, I'd still be like, this is dope. So just be super proud of yourselves and congrats again.
Thank you. It doesn't have anything to do with you just constantly being on.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not unbiased. Let's be real here. But still, numbers don't lie. And a 200 that's a lot of work that goes into the 200.
It's worth it though.
And we have lots of fun things planned as well. So
we do. All right. So I guess I'm just going to do our little wrap up end thing here. Join us next time as we discuss Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, including a lovable asshole shirt modeled by the wonderfully handsome Jackson Ford. And become a patron of ours on Patreon, like the wonderfully handsome Jackson Ford at patreon.com/fictional hangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
Claire going nuts in the background.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at Fictional Hangover, or find us at Facebook at facebook.com/Fictional Hangover, and on Twitter at Fictional Hangover No We Are. If you like this episode, check out the others and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe if you don't miss out. And finally, a special thanks to Liz Emerson for our music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. And thank you to everybody in the comments who has participated, and if you can give this video a like, we would very much enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Be sure to join us in a few minutes for our game of TKO. We're going to switch off of StreamYard and move over to Zoom so we can play that game together. So everyone, give us a few minutes, take a pee break, and then we'll come back.